Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So, what's going on between Coinbase and Binance? Coinbase goes to war. So let's talk about what happened today, why Coinbase is deciding to go to war with Binance right now, and also, let me give you a Bitcoin update. All right, let's get started. Welcome, guys. Hopefully you guys are doing good. Today, overall, Bitcoin's been hovering. It's a little bit higher this morning, 24.8, right? No, 23.8, and then it came back down a little bit. But still, we are recovering back up, definitely from our recent fall to like 22.5, right? So we're still climbing up. Overall today, in terms of the U.S. market, a little bit in the green, not too much. Tomorrow, a little bit more in the green. People don't know what quite to make of the economic data that's been coming out. There's a lot of random ones, and people don't know how to interpret it, really. So we got a couple of them. Look at capital goods orders went up crazily, the largest gain in 5 months. Shipments, surge. What does this mean? People are buying. They're buying a lot, right? But why is this? Maybe prices have started coming down. Maybe because supply chain has been improving, right? So is this good or bad? I mean, you figure it's bad because there's a lot of people buying stuff, right? So prices should go up. But, then again, prices have been going down because China is opening up now and there's a lot more goods flowing. Maybe that's the reason why. And because supply is increasing, right, maybe that's going to cause prices to go down. So like no one really knows what to do with this data. It's like it could go either way. This one, however, I mean, again, it could go either way, and here's why. Pending home sales surge, largest gain in 2.5 years. That's awesome, right? What's not awesome is you can interpret this as, well, prices of homes are going to continue to go back up and get back to their peak and form a new high, right? That's not good for inflation. But then again, if you look at it, this is great. That means, again, people are not going broke. They are not forced to foreclose on their homes. In fact, they're still shopping for homes, right? So it shows that the U.S. economy is still strong. So, that's the situation right now. I don't believe Wall Street investors, Wall Street, these hedge funds, they look at this data and everyone's just speculating. Everyone's guessing. Everyone's like, is this good or bad? Is this going to cause Powell to be more hawkish or dovish? No one really knows at this point. I mean, honestly, I don't think anyone could tell you exactly. Look at this. In terms of the next rate hike that's coming up next month, toward the end of next month, I mean, this has been flip-flopping up and right. So now we're going back to 76% of the people think that it's going to be 25 basis points. And 24 think it's going to be 50 basis points, right? But the 50 basis point was higher just a few days ago, but it started coming down, right? But still, it's not 100% that it's going to be 25 basis points. So, again, it's just, we're kind of in between. The market wants to rally, to be honest, but people are so fearful of Powell and what he's going to do with rate hikes. So, that's what's holding us back right now. Just a lot of uncertainty. No one knows. DXY, a lot of you guys have been paying attention to DXY. DXY did shoot up recently. Went up to 105.5, right? But today it went down a little bit, 104.3. It's still high. It's still high compared to 101 that we were just at a week ago or 2 weeks ago, right? But does this mean we're flipping down again? And if DXY goes down, equities and crypto starts going up. So again, there's a lot of economic data, and I just feel like Wall Street just doesn't really know. But overall, there is more of a bullish sentiment. I think the market wants to rally. People want to put money back into the market and back into Bitcoin and back into crypto, right? But still a lot of fear. So not everyone has come back or put all their money in. They shouldn't. I mean, it's still too early to be doing that. But that's that's the situation we're in. But I think we are going to see much better days going forward, right? And speaking of Bitcoin, seeing better days forward. So Red Capital put this out saying historically, I'm sorry, I can't read tonight. BTC has broken out past its macro downtrend between 366 days and 396 days. Okay? And we are approaching that 396 days. And again, if we're using history as an indication of what may come in the future, well, that means great things are going to come. We are about to shatter that downtrend line. And once we do, just like the previous times, as we get closer and closer to the halving events, right, great things happen. That is exactly what it is looking like right now, right? So Bitcoin is still looking pretty darn good. Here's another one, breaking through whatever the ribbon is, the hash ribbons, I believe. I think this is the hash, or EMA. This is not hash ribbon. This is EMA ribbon. This is just kind of correlates like 5 different EMA moving averages. And Bitcoin is looking like 2019 when it broke through that ribbon. And then good things started happening once again, right? So are we going to get that right around the corner? Possibly. And lastly, I just want to show you this about Bitcoin, right? If you don't believe all that nonsense in terms of on-chain metrics or technical indicators, well, believe in this. The supply last active, okay, for Bitcoin is skyrocketing. So Bitcoin has not moved for 10 years, held by the long-term holders, is skyrocketing, and that number is now larger than the number of Bitcoin being held on exchanges. So there's a lot more Bitcoin being held by holders for 10 years, not 1 year, not 6 months, not 5 years, 10 years, right? The ultra hodlers, the ultra bulls, okay? They hold more Bitcoins between them versus all the centralized exchanges out there. Think about that. That's very significant. Of course, I've been showing charts about 6 months, and it's already up 70. I think this morning I talked about it's like 76%, something really high. And then 1 year, it's like 50-something%, and then like 3 years, it's like 40-something%. I mean, it just keeps climbing. It just keeps climbing. There's more and more holders that truly believe in Bitcoin, really understanding the financial system is a joke, not only in the U.S., but around the world. One big Ponzi scheme after another, right? People want to opt out. People want something better, and they're turning to Bitcoin. It's as simple as that. And plus, they're looking forward to the next bull run because we are getting closer and closer to the next halving event, right? So, looking good, looking good. Now, what about this war between Coinbase and Binance? Well, Coinbase shoots first. So Coinbase decided that they will be suspending BUSD stablecoin, saying it doesn't meet listing standards. Why doesn't it meet listing standards? They don't explain. They basically said, we don't want it. We're going to remove it. So if you have BUSD on Coinbase, starting March 13th, you cannot trade it anymore. All trading pairs will be removed. And I don't know what they're going to do about basically withdrawals. Are they going to limit withdrawals? They're probably going to limit deposits for sure, right? So shots fired, right? Coinbase is making the first move. This, of course, is probably in response to the fact that the SEC pressured Paxos to stop minting BUSD. Even though that happened, Paxos said they will still support BUSD for many years to come. It's not like they're just discontinuing it. And Binance also said they will still support BUSD for years to come. So it's not like BUSD is being just removed from the market. But Coinbase is forcing the issue, saying, no, we're going to remove it from the market, whether our users want it or not, right? So shots fired. Of course, why would Coinbase want to do this? Well, let's not forget Coinbase is one of the two companies behind USDC, which is a competitor to BUSD. So it makes a whole lot of sense, right? Another company that controls and owns and help create USDC is Circle. Even Circle said SEC is not the right regulator for stablecoins. It doesn't make much sense because stablecoins, there's no profit to be made from stablecoins. It should not be considered a security. It's a commodity. So why is the SEC looking at stablecoins, right? So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But of course, the SEC is making an argument how somehow you can make profit from stablecoins, and that's why it's a security, right? Gary, it's just totally out of control. He wants just to regulate everything and basically shut it down, right? But I do believe this is the reason why Coinbase is proactively removing BUSD, because obviously they want to help their own, which is USDC, and this is the right time for it. A lot of people already converted. Not to say that it's a bad idea. Converting is probably a good idea at this point, but, you know, they're forcing the issue and causing a little bit more FUD towards Binance. So how is Binance going to respond? I don't know. It'll be funny if Binance says we're going to stop supporting USDC. I don't think they're going to do that, but it would be funny if that's how they retaliate. And that it wouldn't be a good thing, because then, you know, you have to rely on USDT, and no one really wants to do, you know, rely on that. So, all right. So, yeah, shots fired. But as for Coinbase itself, if you thought DEX volume were exploding, Coinbase volume is also exploding. In fact, Coinbase volume is leaps and bounds higher than DEX volumes out there, right? So, of course, this makes sense. You have newbies that want to come in. They're not going to know how to use a DEX, okay? They don't even know how to use a self-custody wallet. So, of course, this makes sense, right? But I will say, DEXs in general, okay, have improved by leaps and bounds versus a few years ago. If you try to use like the very first version of Uniswap, for example, or the ones that existed before Uniswap back in 2017, right, on 2018, I mean, it was just a horrible experience. Things have improved dramatically within the last few years, but there's still a lot of work to be done. The user interface is just not as easy, right? Not as much liquidity. You have to worry about gas fees, right? There's a lot of things you have to worry about, but it is growing, and I do think that more non-noobs, people that have been in this space for a few years, or even not even a few years, just, you know, after they understand self-custody wallets, I think it's natural to start understanding DEXs. So people that's in this space, I think over time will depend more and more on DEXs and less on central exchanges. And that is one of the reasons why Bitcoin volume or Bitcoin reserves on the exchanges are falling. That's partially the reason why, I believe. Anyways, just to let you guys know, of course, I mean, there's a lot of Coinbase stuff today. It just so happens there's a lot of Coinbase stuff. Of course, Coinbase also recently announced Base, which is their L2 project, right? So their testnet actually went live today. So dApp makers that want to take advantage of Base can do so. But honestly, Base is just like a forked version of Optimism. It's using the same source code. So how is it different from Optimism right now? I don't actually know. I think it's basically the same chain. So it's really a win for Optimism. Less so on Coinbase part. Coinbase just wanted to be a fiat on-ramp system for Optimism and for Solana and for Ethereum, right? So I think that's the real reason why they want to do this, but it has helped Optimism quite a lot, including all the Optimism dApps, including their DEX. I just mentioned about DEXs. The biggest DEX within Optimism, Velodrome, sees record fees because there's just record volume. It's exploding right now, right? So that's good. That's good. So if you don't like Coinbase, you think this chain is going to fail, the one good thing that comes out of it is it brings more attention to a layer 2 like Optimism. So there is that. But in terms of the top L2s with the most accounts created, Optimism is right up there at number 2, just under Arbitrum. Arbitrum is also absolutely huge. Arbitrum is the biggest L2 right now, and Optimism is number 2. But there's no token yet for Arbitrum, so just keep that in mind. But you have others like Immutable X is at number 3. Immutable X is also, I think, doing pretty well today. They are their own L2, but they're focused on Web 3.0 games in general, right? And there's many others out there, so. Looking pretty good. And last thing about Optimism I found out is they are upgrading. There is a Bedrock upgrade that's coming that will give faster deposit transactions, bring lower gas fees, more predictable block production in Ethereum equivalents, meaning that more code from Ethereum is going to be compatible with Optimism. So this is also coming, which could be really, really good for Optimism itself. All right. Lastly, SEC. I've been talking a lot about Gary. So now Gary is going after Robinhood. So Robinhood has been hit with a subpoena in December regarding the company's crypto listings and custody of the assets, the firm disclosed today. So Gary Gensler is going after every single facet of crypto, every single business that deals with crypto, every single thing. We'll see what he discovers, but I mean, he just wants complete, total domination or shutdown of crypto projects in the United States. That's what it's sounding like, right? Everything is security. Everything needs to be shut down or moved overseas. Hopefully it doesn't come to that, but that's what it's looking like right now. All right. Outside of that, Bitcoin is still holding well. Let's do some Q&A. All right, guys. I don't have my drink with me tonight, unfortunately. I had a few before the stream. All right, let's see. People are liking the fact that SEC is going after Robinhood. Okay, people just really hate Robinhood, I think, in general. Let's see. The Winkle Wieners, referring to the Winklevi, referring to Gemini. They've been very quiet recently. After they made a public public dispute in regards to their relationship to Genesis and DCG and Barry, right? They've been pretty quiet afterwards. So I don't know what's going on with them. Vote libertarian. Abolish SEC, IRS, Federal Reserve, CBDC, and foreign wars. That's a good, that would be a good fantasy world, but don't think that's ever going to happen. Do you think Polygon could hit $25 in the next bull run? No, I think that's a little bit too much. That's a 25x, and considering Polygon's already 10.7 billion, that may be a little bit too far-fetched. For like a big cap like Polygon to do 10x, possibly 15x, 25x may be too much, but who knows? Bull runs are very unpredictable. You just don't know how much money will flow in, and this time around, the FOMO could be so big that maybe all these big caps do a 25x or a 50x, right? Because we have BlackRocks of the world and Soros of the world and Fidelities of the world that are going to bring in massive amount of liquidity, possibly trillions into this space, and who knows? It could be wild. It could be wild. Converted all my junk in Coinbase and now I have $12 in BTC. Congratulations. It's a start. Cocaine Bear is boring. I can't believe they made a movie like Cocaine Bear. I thought it was a cartoon or something until I realized it's just like a CGI bear that ate a whole bunch of cocaine and just starts attacking everyone. It's the most ridiculous premise ever. I don't know how that actually made it to the theaters. But FYI, I did watch Ant-Man. I thought it was pretty enjoyable. I thought it was way, way better than Thor Love and Thunder. Thor Love and Thunder, now that I think about it, it's a really horrible movie. Ant-Man was actually decent. It's not the greatest, but it was decent. I thought it was better than Ant-Man 2. I don't even remember the plot in Ant-Man 2, so that shows you how forgettable it was. Based on a true story, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. It's too far-fetched. I do not believe it. I'm excited for Shazam 2. I'm not sure I'm excited about that. I'm excited for a Flash movie, not Shazam 2. It's too kids based, and that's probably the last Shazam movie we'll ever see, anyways. Because James Gunn is trying to rewrite all of DCU and DCEU or DCU, whatever it is, DCU, and probably Shazam is gone. It is, but in reality, a bear just died. Yeah, that's what would happen. If you overdose on cocaine, you die, right? A bear would die too. So, like, it's not going to be like some crazy killing spree like the movie portrays. I think it's just really ridiculous. Anyways, enough about Cocaine Bear. That actor is a nut job. That is. I don't even know his name, but it's a nut job. I'm excited to see the old Batman. Not excited to see Supergirl. Come 2025 December, why hold if his 4-year cycle predicts a dump? I mean, that's true. But you just don't know when that tradition will break. At some point it will. Some point it will break, because once you get to a certain threshold, I believe, a certain market cap, a certain type of adoption, you know, there's no reason that it's go fall 80, 70% again. This time I think we fell 75%, 78% for Bitcoin. But it may not happen again. One of these cycles, that tradition will break, right? And that's when you don't want to be left being the sole person that sold everything. Taking profits is always good. If you want to take profits, sure. But who knows what's going to happen afterwards. Have I seen the Daredevil TV show? Yes. That was actually really good. That was really good until the season 3 or something like that. The first 2 seasons was good. I think season 3 sucked. And the way they portrayed him in She-Hulk was laughable. So that also screwed it up. Thoughts on ITrustCapital going to be using Fortress Custody? Just received the email today. That's actually a good thing. It's not custody. It's just I don't know how to explain it, but it gives them the licensing right to offer a lot more crypto. That's really what it is. Custody service itself does not change. It's still being held by Coinbase custody, but it's like one of the licenses. I don't know the exact name, but it allows them to offer more crypto now. So overall, they are improving. Do you ever fear losing your position in BTC sale? No. I don't know what you mean by that. Loki, out of all the Disney shows on Disney Plus, I mean all the Marvel shows on Disney Plus, Loki I think was the best by far. And it has to do with Kang, so you should watch it if you don't want to be left out. Any thoughts on ALCX? Alchemix? No, I don't. I remember looking at this before. I don't quite know. This is tagged as yield farming, governance, lending and borrowing. No. I looked at it before. I just can't really tell you about it. It's been a while. Andor is the best show on Disney Plus? No. I tried to get into it. I didn't even finish it. It was so boring to me. Andor, that shouldn't even be a story. I don't know why they chose that story, but it is a very boring story. Even though people have told me it's a great show, I can't even get through like the episode 1. Sell BTC 100K, runs up to $1 million plus. Thanks. Okay. Thoughts on Yearn Finance? I don't really have any thoughts on Yearn Finance. It's created by Andre Crony, who is a very smart DeFi guy, who is now the architect for Phantom. But Yearn Finance before has been hacked many times, so I've never really cared for them. Let's bring up this page. Westworld canceled? Oh man, about time. Westworld was good for the first 2 seasons, and then when they started moving outside into the real world and stuff, it just totally screwed it up. This fantasy world, I mean, that was a perfect story. People wanted to see what happened, you know, the Man in Black and all that stuff, and then it just like turned into this weird thing about trying to save humanity and all that stuff. They just really screwed up. I don't know what they were doing, honestly. What a way to really kill it. Where are you on Blacklist? I'm in season 6, like halfway through season 6, when Red just found out that Liz betrayed him. And he's trying to get over that. And Liz just found out about her grandfather around there. What about Forbes article about Binance? I don't know what Forbes article about Binance, which one it is. Is it possible Janet Yellen is Satoshi Nakamoto? No. Thoughts on 1inch hardware wallet? I don't like 1inch as a project, so if I don't like them as a project, I don't think I'm going to like their hardware wallet. Damn, you watch a lot of TV. No, I don't. All these shows I talked about ended like years ago. Okay, it's not even recent shows. These are shows that I stopped watching like 2 to 3 years ago. So no, the only thing I watch right now is Blacklist, and I watch like 2 episodes, 3 episodes a day. That's about it. Trying to catch up with that. Thoughts on Sovereign? I don't know. Is that the project with like a samurai as a leader? Is that what this is? No, I guess not. Secure Bitcoin technology that allows you to do more to Bitcoin while having more control over your funds. Bitcoin-backed stablecoins, 0% interest loans, trading with no more middleman. Yeah, I don't know. This sounds a lot like a security. When you have loans, okay, that's probably securities in some way, even though it says 0%, and borrow now and earn interest. I don't know. There's something off there. Yeah, I'm going to say no to this project. It sounds like the SEC is going to attack them. Norman, appreciate it. Jake Paul fight, didn't he lose? I didn't watch it. I just heard he didn't get knocked out, but he lost, right? I just made a commercial with actor Jonathan Mayers from Loki and Creed. Are you serious, Adam? What kind of commercial? That guy is hot. You know some of these guys, they do a series or they do a movie and then they get really hot. That guy is like everywhere now, right? He's a good actor. He's a really good actor, but I wonder what, I don't know what show made him popular. Was it Loki possibly? I don't know. Forbes article, Binance moved 1.8 billion in stablecoins. So Jeep off-roading. You're referring to the article that's very old about how they removed some stablecoins from Binance.us. Is that the one you're referring to? I mean, so what if they did? George, you talk about whale and diamond hands as if their control is good. Do you not think if they get the power, the same will happen? I don't know what you mean by that. I don't think whale manipulation is good. I've never said that. Are you talking about like the institutions like BlackRock's of the world? I think that's what you're referring to. Of course, BlackRock taking over control of crypto is not good. But in the meantime, it'll be really good because they're going to bring a lot of liquidity into this space. And honestly, for them to try to take control of crypto is very difficult because crypto is worldwide. You know, there will always be new innovation. There'll be always new money flowing in as it gets bigger and more adoption happens and more evolution. I mean, that's kind of how I see it. Harmony One, will it go back and ban protocol? I don't know. I'm not a supportive of Harmony One anymore. I don't like what they did. They lied to a lot of their dApp makers, and they got hacked. So I'm not a fan of Harmony One, and I've never been a fan of ban protocol. Chainlink is the way to go if you want to invest in a decentralized Oracle network. You should interview Tate and show him who's really the top sheep. I wouldn't mind talking to Tate, but he's sitting behind bars right now. I wonder if they're ever going to let him out. I think their plan worked. Their plan was to keep him behind bars long enough so that people forget about him. And honestly, I think people have forgotten about him because I don't hear anyone talk about Tate anymore. I don't see any videos of Tate. He is basically gone. He's gone. He's wiped out from social media, right? I think that was their plan all along. So, but I wouldn't mind talking to him. He seems like a interesting guy. Yo, George, you should flip from bull to bear instead of always leaning bullish. Why? Why would you want to tune to a channel that's always bearish? Why would you want to tune to someone that is bearish in general? That's pretty much miserable. Why would you want to watch someone like that? Right? It makes no sense. Do you think Matic will flip BNB, ADA, and XRP? I will say if I had to choose one that I was very confident in flipping all of those, I would say Polygon. Not to say that it will happen, but if Polygon was sitting at number 3 right behind Ethereum, that would not surprise me at all. So let's just put it that way. He's not posting on Twitter. Someone's managing his account. That Adrian kid or someone else, someone's doing it. Yo, it's obvious you're an idiot, okay? There's no need for you to talk anymore. You're getting banned from this channel. It's funny. It's funny that you have random nobodies sitting in their mom's basement telling more successful people what to do as if they know what to do. You know, it's like, I'm not going to chime into a Tesla Spaces or Elon Spaces and say, hey, Elon, you should do this. Okay? I'm not in his position. I don't know what he's going through, but I'm not going to tell him that what he's doing is wrong because he's a freaking billionaire, right? He's obviously proven himself. So when you have these guys that are miserable, that have made no money in crypto, thinking that they're a trading genius because they made 1 or 2 trading calls that ended up being profitable, you know, that I'll just leave it at that, okay? Can you check out Caspa? No, I'm not going to check it out. Too many people are trying to pump it. I've checked it out before. It's not the greatest crypto ever created after Bitcoin, which is what Caspa fans want you to believe. There's nothing wrong with it. It seems very promising, but there's nothing that really stands out at this point. Can they make it? Sure. Sure, they have good potential. Lady Lucas, I appreciate it. Why do you think Tate is interesting? I'd rather hear about some other athletes that support crypto. Why? Tate supports Bitcoin and crypto. He gets it. He talks about the government, not being able to trust the government, not knowing what the government is doing really behind the scenes and really manipulating the small guys, causing infighting while they get to keep control and keep profiting. That makes a whole lot of sense. All the athletes, I mean, quite honestly, all the athletes that say, yeah, I support crypto, right? I don't know if that's really true or not. Like, I've seen some athletes talk about it. They kind of regurgitate what they've heard from others, but do they truly understand? I don't quite know. I'm sure there are a lot that are starting to, but yeah, I think most of them are just made more like paid endorsements to say something like that. But I'd love to see more athletes get involved with Bitcoin and crypto, take part of their salary in Bitcoin and crypto, right? It's starting to happen with a few athletes. Love to see more of that happen. It's a lot of updates. There's no updates other than they had another major outage, and it's not a good look for them. All right, guys, I'll let you go. let's see what happens tomorrow. Today, shots fired. Coinbase fires at Binance. What is Binance going to do? Probably nothing. But, yeah, it happened. It happened. DXY is coming down. Economic news, kind of so-so. So we'll see what happens tomorrow, bright and early, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.